So in addition to the adding Muse into the WooCommerce PayPal Express checkout gateway plugin, I also created a standalone plugin for Muse called WooCommerce PayPal Marketing Solutions. This plugin uses the JavaScript integration, and it's a standalone plugin, so it can be installed beside any other WooCommerce plugin that's currently in the marketplace. So this plugin hasn't been published to the marketplace yet, so in order to install it, you'd have to download the zip and then upload it via plugins, add new, and then upload. So I'm not going to demonstrate that, but that's how you would actually install this plugin currently until we get it published to the WooCommerce marketplace if we decide to. So once the plugin is actually installed, you will see a WooCommerce PayPal Marketing Solutions plugin. So we'll go ahead and activate it and go to its settings. Alright, so let's just make sure there's no banners currently on the site, which there's not. So this is taken directly from the previous plugin, and we can see that this text is just copied verbatim. But with this plugin, you'll see there's two options. One's environment and one is enable. So the environment obviously chooses whether or not you want to go between the PayPal Sandbox or the PayPal production environment. So the first time through, if I just do Sandbox, I'm going to click Enable. And with Muse, the first time through, if you don't have a container ID, the button shows as Activate PayPal Insights. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it looks like there's maybe an issue here in the sandbox, but this normally looks a little bit nicer. So if I go and just enter a URL, and green continue, once again this looks nicer when it's working properly. So promotions are off, so I'm going to turn those on. I'm going to return to WooCommerce. So at this point there's a container ID that's created, and I'm going to go ahead and save. So we just saved the container ID for the sandbox environment. So if I go to my cart and refresh, you will now see the banners. This is all hitting the Muse sandbox setup. So what happens now if I switch it to production? Well, for production we don't have a container ID, so it's going to say Activate PayPal Insights again. If I switch that back to Sandbox and Enable, it's actually going to say Manage because I already have that container ID. We never get rid of the container IDs once they're created. So if I clicked this now, it would take me to the Manage settings, which I don't want to do that. Instead, I'm going to switch over to production. But we should also see that the banners, Sandbox is still enabled, so if I remove it, the banners will disappear. So now I'm going to enable it for production, and since I don't have a container ID, it's going to tell me to activate it. So I click it. So this is what it really looks like and will look like in Sandbox. There's just obviously some issue with it. All right, so we go through and green continue, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn promotions on, which is going to turn on the banners. So at this point, I'm going to get that container ID back, and when I save it, that actually saved my container ID. And so when I refresh, we should see banners, and these are delivered from the production instance of Muse. So once again, if I were to remove it, you'll see there's no banners. And if I enable it now, it'll manage settings and not activate. And same with Sandbox. It will manage settings instead of activate since Muse is already, or the containers have already been created. They're still stored from previous runs. And that is it for the standalone WooCommerce plugin. Once again, this is the full JavaScript integration.